Raise your hand if you miss school. Let me rephrase this. Raise your hand if you miss that time when September meant coming back from the holidays and going to buy a lot of new stationery, pencil cases, diaries, notebooks to start a new year at school. In this chatty vlog we're gonna of course talk about stationery, but also nostalgia and how we can bring back those back to school vibes into our lives as adults. There will be tips about supplies, crafty little projects, and a good amount of references to the 80s. Cause you know I'm never gonna give you up and I'm never gonna let you down. Hi everyone, this is Carlo and welcome back to my channel. For many of us, September feels like the real start of the year. Forget January 1st. Now that the air gets a little crisper and the leaves start changing color. And as much as when we used to go back to school, we have the excitement of a fresh start. So how can we mark that momentous occasion as sophisticated adults, channeling that back to school energy? Here's a few tips. Go for a stationery mini haul. No need to go overboard, but buy a few new supplies that will spark that enthusiasm for starting new projects and getting organized. How about sticky notes for your planning system? In Muji I bought these great sticky notes. Great paper always gave me school vibes straight away. I also bought these narrow ones, great for small annotations. And these ones are an undated calendar with a weekly layout. Super useful if you need a month at a glance view to include in your pages. Muji is very good in terms of streamlined, multifunctional sticky notes. Also, from Sue Atelier I bought these very cute notes for to-do lists. A small grid, super stylish, and I'm all sorted out. Don't forget to inject some fun into your planning system with new stickers. I got these coffee-themed ones by Sue Atelier again. They are cute and very relatable and on brand for an Italian. Especially now that autumn is approaching and we start to enjoy those cozy afternoons journaling and planning in coffee shops. If you don't have a planner or you want to mark a brand new start in September, you can also buy a media diary or an academic diary, which usually goes from September to September of the following year. Or even better, you can start a bullet journal to use as a mini planner or project planner. And it's super cheap because you only need a notebook and a pen. Bullet journals are currently having a huge renaissance. After they became super decorated, almost unsustainably because ain't nobody got time for that. People are rediscovering their original minimalist aesthetic and straight to the point functionality. The best notebook that I can recommend you for this, but also for many other projects, is this Muji Open Flat notebook. I'm in love with this. Thanks to the special binding, it opens completely flat on your desk, and the paper is absolutely gorgeous. It's as silky smooth as a Lionel Richie ballad. Like, hello, is this paper you're looking for? Yes, it is. It has horizontal lines, but also faint dotted vertical ones to give you reference points to create grids and tables for your layouts. If you're not good with tracing lines or envisioning a template, you can use sticky notes to create your personalized layout. Here I've used the new ones I bought and a combination of old ones. You can browse Pinterest to get inspired and compose your personal bullet journal layout with the help of sticky notes and a glue stick. September is also a good moment to refresh your highlighters palette. If you, like me, are into color coding your activities on your planner. Autumn is on its way, so you can switch to more muted, earthy colors like this from Stabilo, my personal favorites. But you do you, boo. Be unapologetically you with your choice of highlighters. I just tend not to use neon colors because I was not in the cast of Punky Brewster. As grown-ups, one of the ultimate activities that give us back-to-school vibes is reading books. The fact that many of us like to underline paragraphs and annotate on margins, or keep book journals where we review and comment them, is definitely connected to the pleasure that we get from learning. I personally don't like to write directly on books, but my books are full of post-its, sticky notes and tabs, so I want to show you a little tutorial to create an accessorized bookmark, back to school themed for when you want to annotate a book on the go. I took a piece of cardboard from my box of recycled product packaging, this is from a box of cereals, and I've cut a rectangular shape measuring 5 cm by 19. You can make it longer if you want. To give a back-to-school feel, I collected a selection of pages from old unfinished notebooks, a mix of grid and lined paper. First thing, I glue some neutral color paper on the structure of my bookmark to cover the packaging artwork and have a blank slate where to start my project. I want to create layers with the pages that I collected, like a sort of a gradient. So I start gluing this grid paper, which seems like a good starting point. And I'm gonna alternate lines and grids, ripping my paper by hand on a diagonal, and gluing the pieces one after the other, alternating also the direction of the diagonal rips, to add interest and variety. I'm cutting the last piece along the rim, and the first side of this bookmark can now be decorated as you fancy. I glued a little sausage dog with a paper clump, and I'll keep it simple like that. Time to accessorize the other side of the bookmark. That's when my narrow sticky notes from Muji come into play, along with some sticky tabs of different colors that you can find in most stationery shops or online. I'm gonna turn my bookmark around and detach a group of 10-12 sticky notes from the main body. I use a roller glue to stick this bunch vertically on the bookmark. And I'm doing exactly the same thing with some sticky tabs, creating a selection on my bookmark. As you can see, I made sure it's still thin enough to fit into a book without being bulky and heavy. A few additional decorations and your bookmark is ready to be carried inside your book. And every time I want to mark a page or annotate something on the go, I will always have sticky notes and tabs ready to use. And if I run out of them, I can simply add more on the bookmark before I leave home in the morning. Let's talk about nostalgia now. There's something that we need to normalize here as adults, and it is searching for and buying stationery from our school days. All those items that bring back good memories, or even the ones that you were not allowed to have as a kid because your parents said that they were too expensive or unnecessary, or oh no, this is for girls or this is for boys. Now you can buy them with your own money and they're for you to have. Cool, right? For the second part of my mini haul, I went down memory lane and I bought some items that gave me instant back to school feels. Starting with cocoina glue. I don't know how popular this was outside Italy because it's an Italian product, but this really takes me back to my childhood. It's a natural solvent-free glue that you can apply with this tiny brush, and it has a very distinctive smell of almond and marzipan. Do you know when your memories get triggered by sensory stimuli? This smell makes me think of all the collage and crafty projects that I used to make as a child. Speaking of sensorial memories, the next item is a kneadable eraser. In Italian we call it la gomma pane. All the kids in my class had it, none of them used it for the right purpose. It's basically a soft eraser that can be kneaded and molded in different shapes. I bought this one from Derwent because the smell is very similar to the one I used to have in the 80s and 90s. As kids, we used to treat it as plasticine and create all kinds of figurines. But it's actually a very good eraser for pencil marks. I'm currently using it on my illustrated travel journal of Tenerife. It's in the works, the video will be ready soon, bear with me. The last item that I want to show you, don't laugh because this is the only type I found, is this multicolor pen. 10 colors in one pen. Who had one of these? Let me know in the comments below. I used to be so fascinated by the possibility of writing with different color inks. And it's a good item to rediscover as an adult. Imagine for example how you can use it for quick sketching on the go. And also how you can use the color orange and brown, which usually were the more neglected when I was a kid, to write when you need a sepia tone of ink in your journals. So yes, who cares if it has a duck on the top? Is it a duck? I don't know. If it brings back good memories, it's a good reason to buy it and use it. That's all for today! This September vlog was a little bit all over the place, but I hope you had a good time. And if you want to share your favorite back to school stationery or nostalgic memories, feel free to do it in the comments below. Let's chat about it. As always, you can support my channel with a like, comment, share and subscribe. This was me, Carlo, and until next time, take care, be kind, and I'll see you soon.